Hey guys, Sheet Geek here. Just wanted to post a quick lesson today for students to practice entering formulas. Usually I've already walked them through how to enter formulas and we've done at least one practice activity. So in this one, they're starting to enter some of their own formulas. They should be situations that the students are fairly familiar with by high school, but there are pretty detailed directions if the student doesn't know how to do any of them. So basically, you've got a spreadsheet here. There are directions for the entire sheet in the top here in purple. And then there are three sections that have some different types of formulas. Section 1 is formulas for circles. Section 2 is formulas for rectangles. And Section 3 is formulas for a payroll situation. So formulas the students should be familiar with from math class or their prior experience. But once again, there are directions over on the right side here for each formula if they don't know how to enter any of them. So basically, what the students will do, I will give the students a copy of this spreadsheet so that all the data is in there. They just need to replace formula 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They need to replace those with formulas that will calculate the correct data. So for each formula, when I'm getting ready to do formula 1 here, I'm going to look over here for how to do it. To find the diameter, multiply the radius by 2. So as a student, I would type equals, and I would click on the radius and multiply it by 2. So this should be A4 times 2. Hit enter. And Google Sheets is going to suggest an autofill. If it doesn't suggest an autofill, so let's say it does suggest an autofill, I could just check that and it would autofill that same formula down for the rest of the data here. We'll look at another situation here for circumference. For circumference, I'm going to refer over here to formula 2 to find the circumference, multiply the diameter by 3.14. So in this case, I would do equals, click on the diameter, times 3.14, hit enter. If you were using Microsoft Excel and maybe it didn't suggest, or if you accidentally said, no, I don't want that, you can always take that top formula and you can use the fill handle to fill it down for the other data that's there. Formula 3, to find the area, multiply the radius by 3.14. In this one, since it's a little tricky, I did give them the formula here. So this is going to be equals the radius times 3.14. And yes, I'm going to take the autofill. So in each of these situations, it does give them a self-check for the result that you should get in cell B6, C6, and D6. As long as those ones are correct, the data beneath it should be correct as well. And that's a good way for the students to see that. It's a quick way to enter a lot of formulas that are going to be similar to each other. And it gives them that self-check, and it makes it so they have to actually enter the formulas to get the results down below. So then when I get to formula 4, we're doing perimeter. This is going to be equal the length plus the width plus the length plus the width. And I'll take my autofill. For formula 5, it's going to be equal to the length times the width, A11 times B11. And I'll autofill that. And then as I scroll down to section 3, these are payroll formulas. Formula 6 is gross pay. That's just equal to the hours times the wage. Enter and autofill. Formula 7, taxes, in this case, is equal to gross pay times 25%. And they do need to type the percent sign. Alternatively, a student could type 0.25 and that would work just as well. But you can't just type 25, and that's where that self-check should come in handy of 5875. If a student doesn't do the percent sign or type in 0.25, they will get 5,875. And so they'll know they're wrong with that somehow. And so they might ask some questions there. I'm going to autofill. And for net pay, This is just going to be equal to their gross pay minus their taxes. And if you hit enter and autofill, you should get results for everything. So they're just it's just a quick way to practice some formulas that they should be pretty comfortable with. Um, if you're going to have them submit this, I would do a quick check to make sure that they have all the data. If you hold down the control key and hit the single quote, that's a good way to see that formulas have been entered for everything and that they've used cell references. Control single quote again will hide that. So it's just a quick assignment. It usually only takes about 20 minutes to a half hour, depending on how much you talk about it ahead of time or help them with it as they go. Obviously, I just did it here in 4 or 5 minutes, but I knew what I was doing and didn't run into any problems. So this pairs up well with something else during the class if you're talking about introducing formulas or functions. I do have another lesson on this YouTube channel called Practicing Formulas that that pairs well with this. If you want to try them both in one class, it makes for a comfortable 1-hour class. So hopefully it's something that you can use. The link to the blank document is in the description, so you can grab that blank document for yourself and maybe use it in the near future. If you find this useful, I'd appreciate a like or a subscribe or share it with your friends. But hopefully it works out okay for you. Feel free to comment if you have any suggestions for other sections that I might want to include or that you think would be good to have here. But thanks for watching and good luck.